All right. So my day job, if you will, they put together a questionnaire that's supposed to help us determine qualities of ourselves that help us to guide our future livings. And I thought I'd share some of that information. One, so that we can kind of know some things about me, especially some of the things that I thought were beneficial, and also to remind myself of ways to encourage myself, ways to build myself up, and then things might be possible. Now, again, this is a questionnaire based on what my work did, and we're gonna just share some of the things that I thought were useful, and it also give you some aspects of things that how we could work together in the future, and things that you should maybe consider when you hear some of the information that I share, and how we can move forward from those points. So this first one talks about how to energize me. Says, in order to energize me, allow me ample opportunity to teach what I've learned, and I have a need to share knowledge and understanding, and that keeps me fresh. So that's important. I've been looking at a lot of things in order to recover or to keep myself able to bounce back from setbacks, or even just to do the work that I do enjoy that helps me get my paycheck, but then also I find myself drawn to how to do that work, but then to come back strong and also be able to do a lot of the things that are important to me in my everyday living. So I like that one. That's something I definitely don't do enough of that I would like to explore. I do find myself engrossed in understanding information, seeing what I can learn, figuring out what's out there, what information might be able to either guide me or to benefit me or benefit someone else. And I'm completely fine with doing what's traditionally been taught and what is out there, but and I'm also open up to new ideas and seeing what can make things better, what things maybe we have missed, or when something new comes up, what's the difference between this thing and the things we've been doing all these years, and maybe what's missing that maybe thousands of years somebody did that would benefit us in today's society. The next one is I keep learning. Another thing that energizes me is I keep learning. I keep researching my subject. I attend to the cutting edge conferences, and I read the experts' posts, and I make this a priority. That is big to me. I a good book or a good research line is what I might call it. When I say research line, it's like you read a book, but then you see the other topics that introduces that you can explore. Also, maybe gives you some authors, maybe some completely different subject matter, or maybe you're learning something, you're seeing it being effective, and you're like, I know there's I know there's some more juicy details about that I would like to get into and figure out where that how that exact that works so I can duplicate it in other areas. I actually found that in relationships. I found that there was things that helped me in making my relationship stronger, and I I explored it. I got great information, and then to me it's like I go back to work and I don't necessarily see those go-to actions that provide provide the atmosphere where people just keep going, keep making things better. I think yeah, that's definitely something that I explored. I keep wanting to research that. I keep wanting to take what I've found somewhere that makes things strong in the area of my life and how to disperse that in other areas and make myself have more energy in those areas, but then also drive people. Like I work in a hospital with people that end up having health problems that they have to overcome, and a big part of where we work is we see people come back a lot, and that's not necessarily a bad thing in itself. We like to see those people. We like to have those relationships and be able to see those people and build them. But then we also are wanting those people to get better so they don't necessarily have to ever come back to the hospital. Or yeah, I mean, the hospital is a tough place. We'd like people to be able to come, get the information they need, and they just go on with their lives. I mean, there's probably not a really great accountability program or a way to track how people do well. I mean, there may be more people than I realize, but a lot of the feedback we get is from the people that come back. Another way to energize me is to support my learning. It's like oxygen to me. I need to attend lectures, take courses, and have access to research. Give me that time and the resources to do this. No, I definitely understand my career that I have now. It's really geared towards me going and just helping people find the ways to make sure that everything that's on my plate is done, and also being able to make sure that the patients that we take care of are appreciated, that my coworkers, that we have a good vibe, they're able to get the work done, I'm able to help them, maybe they help me. Also, the doctors and the ancillary staff that we work with, the respiratory therapists, the lab people, pharmacy, physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, making sure that we can work together in a way that helps us all. And basically, I'm really just trying to make sure everything on my plate is done so that I help further that patient's ability to get home and to improve their lives, or have as high quality of life as they can. Now, so a lot of that is outside. So doing a lot of this stuff, it's onus is on me, and I think the onus is on my coworkers, even all those different ancillary staff, to make sure that they're doing it. There's not really a great place or great format that helps us. There are some attempts, and some definite signs that the people that run the place that we work for do care and want things to be better. We do have some encouragement. It's not necessarily set out in accessible format, though I would say my management and some of the management people in my unit, they do a good job of putting things out there. I don't necessarily know if it's always placed in a way where it feels accessible and it feels like it would be helpful. I mean, I guess I take a lot of things on my own, so I don't necessarily want to go do what other people are offering to me to do by myself anyway. I mean, I think those group mentalities are great. But yeah, a lot of the onus is on me. And I guess there's a question like, this is tailored to me. So this is like, hey, Lawrence, this is going to be good for you. I don't know how well other people experience the same thing and are energized by it. But yeah, I definitely would say me having more information is helping. And that's probably something I do a lot of. Probably less of what I do that would be helpful for me is sharing this information. And this is a great format. I even feel energized by this session right here. And I think that there's a lot more of this in me. I think that this is good for me. I would really like to know the things that you're connecting with, so that when I'm sharing it, I know that it's helping people. I'm absolutely sure a lot of the information that I'm coming across can help other people. And I just want to know which parts are connecting with you, so that when I'm creating this stuff, we're having interaction, because it is important to me that we talk and we build and we create a better world and better individual lives. A lot of these, just creating these better individual lives is going to create a better world, at least kind of the way I see it. So let me lead large groups. That's an interesting, let me lead large groups. I mean, I have been able to take on roles where I do help lead other people, and it's interesting because I never asked in the past, and early on, I never asked for it, but it kind of got presented to me, and I took the challenge, and I felt that I did a good job. I was consistently told that I was doing a good job, and I appreciated that. That's something that I cherish. And I've taken some I've applied for jobs that where I'd have more of a leadership role, and in the last 5 years, I guess I'd say, and I didn't necessarily get those positions. And it's interesting. I would like that, but then also realistically, there's nothing really stopping me from pursuing that, of trying to find people that maybe I can assist in having better quality of lives. I a lot of it, I think I can give some information for free, but a lot of also is that, I do present some products and some services that people can invest in if they like, and that if they're interested in, if they really want to learn more, that they have things that they're pursuing, like especially like businesses. I think there's a lot you can do in order to grow your business. I've invested a lot of my time and money in that, and I think that I've been rewarded for it. But then there's also a lot of free. I think one of the best things you can do if money, whether money is an issue or not, but especially if money is an issue, is get a library card. Go to a library, find some of those resources that are free to you, and just absorb information. Look at different aspects of life. I learned about presenting from the library. Actually, also did Toastmasters, which was really inexpensive. Also, it wasn't free, but it was really inexpensive, and you get to actually go and meet other people. Very worth it. But even in those library settings, they have classes. I never really took any classes, but even just going to one of those computers at the library, type in some things that you've thought of, whether it's learning a musical instrument, whether it's learning how to connect with other people better, where you're not dating, get ideas to learn a little bit about dating. Learn about aspects of your family, like where you come from. No matter how much you know about your family, I'm sure there's deeper levels you can get, whether it's just your personal family, or whether it's your lineage, like what country you came from, what religion that you've been part of, where we all came from. Learning about health is extremely important too. Being in the health care industry, I see a lot of people come in that have health problems, and I've learned a lot from that. I learned how to see things that other people do, and I learned to adapt myself. Now, I was making a lot of decisions that I thought were helpful for my future before then, but when I really got a chance to see how other people were affected, it really started clicking that I have an opportunity to do things a little bit better in my life. So, but again, so let it be lead large groups. Yeah, it'd be nice if someone in the organization I work for just recognized me and said, "Hey, you're ready. We want you to take on this responsibility." And I think that there's a lot of saying, "Hey, we want you to take on more responsibility," but then there's also the having the time and maybe even the money for that position. Now, as long as everything's taken care of, maybe money's not necessarily the biggest issue, but if I'm going there and I'm working 40 hours a week and don't really have any extra time to do anything, that's one thing. Now, I've actually taken on a little bit more responsibility myself. It was presented to me. I do think sometimes it is better when somebody does say they want you to do that position. There's been times where I've gone and sought out a position, and it wasn't, people didn't want me to have that position, or people didn't see me in that light. I've really been thinking a lot about how do you put yourself in position so that people do see you in that light and do encourage you, and maybe even seek you out so that you can do the work that would help you and help your whole organization. Push me to handle larger, more important objectives. I can handle a lot of responsibility. That gets into a big big question in my mind. I could probably just sit here and ponder and quiet for like hours just on this thought. This is actually really really cool. And I think, and I probably do think on this. Um, Done this a lot growing up. I just sit there and I think about all the things I think I could do. Yeah, I remember I played football in high school and college and a little semi-pro, and yeah, a lot of times you're sitting there saying, "Hey, give me the ball, give me the opportunity in these situations to take everything on in order to make things better." And to win the game. And in football, it's about winning. It's about winning the game, and it's also about taking on personal responsibility and accountability. Like, I want to be able to do what I'm capable of as a player and an athlete and a human being. It's like in a way it's glory, but in a way it's also like maximizing your abilities. Um, I see that a lot. I've lived in my mind probably a little bit more than I should, and I think, yeah, now is a time where larger, more important objectives, I think is awesome. I think I would like to be in a position to help, be in a position to guide. I don't necessarily feel like I have to have all the recognition. I don't necessarily have to have um, make people do exact things exactly how I would like them to do. I don't feel a requirement to control, but I think about the objective a lot. I would like to get to the objective, and I think a lot of that becomes from talking to the people that are your people in position to be able to help and helping to guide them. Like, this is where we want to go. Now, it's easy to say, I want this to happen, and it doesn't always happen. And my thought from what I've researched in the last several years is that a lot of times you do have that person in a position where they are capable of it. Like, especially like in like a nursing degree, like we have to have nurses that have gone through nursing school and get those degrees. There is sometimes a confidence issue, sometimes it's a skill level or ability, and these things you have to figure out how to bring out the best in them so that they think that they're either capable or that they should do this, or that, yeah, that it's important and that they have as much energy as they can that they require in order to do this position. And part of that is when they're at work, having some systems that enrich them there, and then when they're not there, also having some ideas of what they can do to enrich themselves when they're not there. So those are some of the things I think about as far as that larger, more important objectives. Expose me to other teachers, open doors to help me build my learning network. I think that it's actually, I think about that a lot with management. So I think about some management roles in the position I'm in now. I've done management in the past, and so I got to bounce ideas off of other managers. I got to recruit people who were attracted to me and they wanted to work for me. I actually don't really recall whether I specifically asked people to come join me, or just it's kind of organic. It's like it kind of just meshed. I did have one person seek me out once. I don't know if I'd ever talked to him before. I knew who he was, and he came out. He came into the office I was working in, and he told me a situation which was really heartfelt. His biggest thing was he wanted to help his family. He wanted to put himself in position to improve his family situation. He had a daughter, and he wasn't able to see her. Didn't really feel like, not only was he separated from the mother, but then he also felt, I guess he felt he didn't have the finances. He felt that the work I was doing at the time wasn't a gateway for him to do better. And he sold me. I know I didn't want to work with him at first. I know that. I don't know if I would have agreed to work with him if he hadn't told me just how important his family was in his situation, and he became one of the best friends that I've had. Somebody I definitely connected to on a deep level, and unfortunately, he is no longer living. He's not with us anymore, but I appreciate him. He came to me. He could have went to so many other people, but he chose me, and I feel grateful that he chose to reach out to me and to show me that I can help people and people would seek me out. And he was able to build his family, and I know he had a connection with his daughter before he passed away. No, I do wish I could have helped him more, to be in position to where he would still be living today. I think part of that is that we don't necessarily take those opportunities. They don't always present themselves and show you how important they are. You don't always realize that if I don't help this person now, I helped him in some ways. Like, I helped him for the thing that he specifically asked me. If I would have known at any point before it got to such a profound level where I could have said, hey, maybe you could do this. You can do this differently. Maybe he would still be here now. That's just a little bit about what I think about with what your opportunity is. It's like, I guess I was taught in that position how to help people, how to do a job, and I was able to help him because he sought me out. I'm sure I could have helped him more from what I know now. We could have did more. I could have did more to help him, but I did what he asked. I took that responsibility. I worked with him. Even back then, I know there's things we could have did differently to really put ourselves in position. I've learned a lot about some of the things that block us and obstacles to pursuing a higher quality life, and really facilitating change. And I think that's what exposing yourself to other teachers can do. It can, everything I knew I gave to that situation, and a lot of what I learned too, I give to the other situation. Now I realize it's a little more about knowledge. It's about this teaching what I've learned. That's important, and also training myself to be able to follow through on some of the things that I'm learning. A lot of it is just not in depth. Like, there's a thought that when after you're 7 years old, there's not going to be a big thing that will help you in life. It's like you're not going to change much as a person after you're 7 years old. And it's like, my daughter's almost 7 years old, and I'm finally saying, hey, I got to put this in, because if I don't put this in now, it's like there's a possibility that she'll never get it. So I talk a little bit more about health. I talk a little bit about her history and her culture and things that I think that might be important to her. Not because I need her to know everything right now, but because I got to plant those seeds now so that as she gets older, if there's ever a reason to come back to it, and if it's really as important as I think that it might be, that she has that opportunity now. And don't think it's ever too late for us to use this information and to improve and get better at. But I do, if you have that opportunity, you have a child, or whether it's your child or just a child that's around you, and they're not 7 yet. That's an amazing opportunity to figure out some of the things that are important that maybe that we all don't just realize, and to give them that opportunity. It's think about, like, not just about making money, but what's the purpose of money? Usually the purpose of money is so that you can have that freedom to spend time with your family, or so you can use it to improve your life, improve your health, be able to be at that special place and time for a family member, or for that person who just really needs you, that they're trying to spend time with their family, they're trying to fix their family, and you have that opportunity to help them. So it says, in messy situations where trust has disappeared and conflict reigns, I can be an agent of transformation. I can serve as an example of personal responsibility and consistency. Of personal responsibility and consistency. Yeah, I don't get phased or noticeably phased in crazy situations. I figure out what's my purpose in that situation, and I figure out what I can do. I've been recognized for the ability to do that, and I do think that it helps other people. It helps people when they see how I am. I think they're able to say, "Hey, what do we do in this situation?" And I think that's part of me that helps others. But then I also know there's so many other people that I'm around that are great, wonderful people, that I'm able to absorb some of the essence that they have, and I'm able to make myself better. I've been around people that are amazing, and I know that I become more amazing around them. But then, and at the same time, as well, actually, I've been lucky. I've been really resistant to a lot of the negative influences. I can't say that I don't have any negative parts of me. I mean, I do have. I think we all have something negative, but and maybe more people are resistant to some of those things. Unfortunately, I've been around some of the people that um, succeed or succumb to some of the negative influences, and it's hard to see those people. I would like to be able to help a lot of more of those people be in better situations. So that was some information on how to energize me. I glad I got the chance to check this out and really explore it. It's some really amazing information. So that's a little bit about me. I hope that you know a little bit more about me, and you know a little bit how, if when you see my information, how to consider how maybe we could work together in the future, or how maybe to approach it. If you like anything, or what the parts that you like, I'd like to know those, like to explore those. I'm trying to help people. I use a lot of different modalities or ways of doing things in order to improve myself. And I think there's just so many things that can be done. A big dream of mine is to be able to take some of this information, be able to provide it to people so they can improve their lives, and hey, have more time with their families, maybe make some money, make some decisions about the money that they already do have, and put it in areas that really set them up for the future, that really helps. So yeah, that was a little bit about me, based on some questionnaire I answered for work, and opportunity to explore myself, but also part opportunity for you to learn a little bit about me. This is LG Learn Screen, And I thank you for your time. You have a wonderful one, and it's thank you again.